Let me guess. It's 11:30 p.m. You are exhausted. Your eyes are heavy, and your body is entirely ready to go to sleep. But right as you close your eyes, your brain suddenly decides it's time to host a film festival of every awkward thing you've said in the last 48 hours. You replay a conversation you had with a coworker. You dissect the exact tone of voice you used when you said goodbye. You wonder if that joke you made was actually offensive. You put yourself on trial for a totally normal interaction. If you're someone who constantly replays conversations in your head, people might just tell you to let it go or stop overthinking. But you and I both know it's not that easy. Your brain isn't just daydreaming, it has trapped you in a psychological editing room, desperately trying to fix a movie that has already been released. Today, we're going to talk about why your mind refuses to hit pause, why you are so hard on yourself, and how to finally close the loop. In psychology, this habit has a very clinical name: post event processing. But in human terms, it's an anxiety driven autopsy of your social life. Here is the heartbreaking truth about why you do this. You do it because, deep down, you are terrified of being misunderstood or rejected. If you grew up in an environment where making a mistake meant you got in trouble, or where love felt conditional, your nervous system learned that every single social interaction is a high stakes test. So when a conversation ends, your brain doesn't just clock out, it goes to work. It scans the memory looking for hidden threats. Did I talk too much? Did I sound stupid? Are they mad at me? You replay the conversation not because you want to remember it, but because you are looking for evidence that you are still safe. You are trying to predict if the other person is going to pull away or abandon you based on that one awkward sentence. And this doesn't just happen with spoken words, it happens in the digital world too. Have you ever sent a text message and then proceeded to reread your own text 15 times while waiting for them to reply? You analyze your own punctuation. Did I use too many exclamation points? Do I sound too eager? Should I have used a different emoji? When you send a message into the digital void, you lose control of how the other person interprets it. So your brain rereads the text trying to view it from their perspective. You are frantically trying to control their emotional reaction to you. It is a symptom of hypervigilance. Your mind is desperately trying to ensure that you haven't accidentally ruined the connection. But what about the conversations that weren't your fault? What about that argument where someone was rude to you, you froze up, and then 3 days later, while you're standing in the shower, you suddenly think of the perfect, devastating comeback? This is a different kind of replay. When someone hurts your feelings or puts you on the spot, you experience a temporary loss of social power. If you have a habit of people pleasing or avoiding conflict, you probably stayed quiet in the moment to keep the peace. But your ego doesn't like feeling weak, so it runs a simulation. It replays the argument in your head, but this time it gives you the winning script. This time you don't freeze, you defend yourself beautifully. It feels good for a second, right? But it's a trap. Your brain is trying to retroactively reclaim the power you lost in the past. It's a phantom victory. You are burning your present day energy to win a fight that is already over. There's one more scientific reason your brain won't let it go, and it's a principle called the Zygarnik effect. This psychological rule states that the human brain remembers unfinished or interrupted tasks way better than completed ones. The human brain hates unfinished business. If a conversation ended vaguely, like a coworker saying, "Anyway, we'll talk later," or a friend leaving you on read, your brain treats that interaction as an open browser tab. Because you didn't get clear closure, your mind loops the data over and over, trying to calculate the ending on its own. It is desperately searching for a resolution so it can finally archive the memory and go to sleep. So, how do we finally get out of the editing room? You have to realize something very important. You're the only person who has a magnifying glass on your life. Think about it honestly. How much time do you spend dissecting a slightly awkward thing someone else said to you? Almost zero. Because you are too busy worrying about yourself. Everyone else is doing the exact same thing. No one is studying your awkward moments. They are too busy agonizing over their own. To break the loop, you have to practice radical acceptance. When your brain starts playing the tape at midnight, you don't fight it. You just say out loud, "Yes, that was a little awkward. But I am a human being, and human beings are allowed to be awkward." You cannot go back and rewrite the script. You have to let the rough draft be enough. If you are tired of living in the past, I want you to make a commitment right now. Leave a comment, share your thoughts. Forgive yourself for being perfectly, messily human. Subscribe if this felt like a weight off your shoulders, and I'll see you in the next video.